Hi guys, Steve Girardi here. Welcome to Steve Strings. Today I'll be reviewing the iSET SK92 laminate acacia thin line concert scale ukulele. Let's get into it. Let's start off by looking at the headstock. You can see the iSET logo is laser etched into this headstock, which has an interesting sort of a wave shape to it. This headstock has a veneer of acacia on top of a mahogany neck. And interestingly, I hope I can see it in this light, the tuning machines here, they have sort of a wood grain kind of a pattern going on in the plastic. I hope you can see that there. The nut on this appears to be plastic. There is a scarf joint here at the headstock and also a scarf joint here at the heel. Again, it just has closed geared tuners, nothing fancy going on there. Again, the neck is mahogany. The fingerboard here is described in the nomenclature as being technical wood. It's very dark, similar to a rosewood. And the bridge on this is not described in the nomenclature, but it appears to be something like a rosewood. Also, you can see this does have a saddle, which does appear to be plastic. And interestingly, when looking at the saddle, and hopefully you can see that, this saddle is not perpendicular to the fretboard, but rather it is angled slightly back toward the tail, which is a good thing from my perspective because that actually gives more wood on the face of this so that it actually has less chance of tearing out or breaking that bridge from the string tension. The neck does have position markers here on the face of the fretboard, but sadly it does not have position markers here on the player's side of the fretboard. This instrument does come with strap buttons here on the heel and also on the end of the body. As I said, this is a laminate acacia instrument, and hopefully you can get a good shot of the wood grain there. It's actually a very pretty grain. You see they have a laser etched rosette here on the soundboard. And hopefully you can see that it has purfling here, 5 lines of black and white purfling in addition to this thin maple binding that goes around the edge on both the top and the bottom. And also if you look closely you can see it's not just maple connecting with the wood, but it's maple, a black line of purfling, and then the wood. Those are some very subtle details that make this really nice. And from looking here at this maple, it has a nice grain to it, a little bit of a flame kind of thing going on. The back of this instrument, again, you have a nice shot of the wood grain there. It looks very pretty. And again, I mentioned this is a thin line, but this thing has an arched back to it, which certainly helps with the projection. From looking inside this instrument, there is no bracing on the back of it, which it doesn't need because of the arch of the back. There is notched kerfing, which is for the most part pretty neat and tidy. I've looked this instrument all over and I could only find one very, very minor finish flaw. And I'll try to show it to you here. I also took a photograph, which I'll put up if this doesn't show up clearly. But you can see right here, I'm not even sure if you can even see that. Apparently when they were sanding the back of this, right there where the laminate meets the binding, they sanded through the laminate. And again, there is perhaps 1.5 or maybe 2 millimeters wide of the underlying material showing there for like less of a centimeter long. Very tiny. I had to look for it. You can't even really see it without specifically looking for it. And that was the only finish flaw I found anywhere on this instrument. The only accessory that comes with this instrument is a basic gig bag. You can see here it has the iSET logo silk screened onto the pocket. It has a fairly good sized pocket. You can get certainly most of your typical accessories in there. This gig bag does have 2 shoulder straps that I like. Just basic webbing and a basic webbing handle to it as well. The material on this is maybe 5 to 10 millimeters, somewhere in that range. Again, it opens about 3/4 of the way. A basic gig bag, it certainly gets the job done. So again, this instrument is tuned re-entrantly, GCEA. It has some decent sustain. And I think this sounds well both strummed and also finger picked. Some instruments have certain strings that seem to resonate more. I think this has a fairly balanced tone or projection from all of the strings. You heard a little bit of the sound sample on the way in. I'll go ahead and do a little more playing so you get a sense of what it sounds like. So there you have it, the new iSET concert scale thin line laminate acacia ukulele. Overall, I would say this instrument has a really nice look to it, some nice fine details that really set this apart from some others. I love the thin line. I imagine there are probably others out there, but this is the only concert scale thin line that I've had a chance to see, and I really do like it. And again, I think that arch back really makes this louder than one might expect. The tone on this is a nice tone. It's not the best, it's not the worst. The volume is certainly very good, and this is certainly one to be looking at. Based upon my initial impressions of this, I can tell you right now, this would be a great travel ukulele. I have traveled with soprano ukuleles, but to be quite frank, I don't like the scale. Sopranos are too short a scale. I find them very crowded. This little extra room with a concert would be something I would prefer to travel with over a soprano, and this thin line body would make it very easy to pack. So if you're looking at perhaps getting a thin line concert scale ukulele that has some nice looks and some decent sound, definitely check this one out. I hope you found today's review video useful or helpful to you. If you have, please give a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of my instrument reviews or builds that I do, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you come back and see more of what I do. Thanks for watching.